All righty, guys. Welcome to our trading session tonight. It is Wednesday, June 14th. We had FOMC today. We did not do a live in the morning because I got back from my flight like at 1 a.m. last night. So I did want some time to sleep in. But now that I'm back, we did do a FOMC live stream. We did. Some people took the trade. There was actually a really nice long setup I was looking to take, but I never actually came back to my entry. I know some people in the lives ended up entering a little bit early and they ended up catching the move. So we'll go over that. And then we'll talk about what we're going to be looking at going into the rest of the week tomorrow. And yeah, and then also any questions we got. So first thing I want to check out is just looking at NQ, right? Overall structure, looking at bigger time frame, looking at the 4 hour, right? We've just constantly been going up. Again, I'm not going to be bearish on NQ when we've just been having absolute monster rally after rally. So I am going to continue to be bullish on NQ. Now, again, days like today are something that I'd want to see, right? Where we'd get those, internal moves to sweep that internal sell side level and then look to, buy up back to the upside since we're super bullish. Maybe end up shorting a little bit after we take out new highs. But again, looks like we're super strong, have been super strong on NQ in the past, couple weeks. So no, short bias going into next week or the week before, the next, couple of days. I am going to continue to be bullish, but I do, would want to see some more structure start to form. If we could maybe come back down here, maybe back inside this range and possibly even come down to sweep this sell side level and then look to bounce back up. That would be, best case scenario of what I'd want to see, right? Looking at the 1 hour time frame, we have this clear sort of low put in. We have a lot of these fair value gaps down here. I'd like to see these imbalances get revisited, possibly for us to come back down, maybe form some more structure and then sweep these, lows right here that we have stacked up, right? We have this low here, this low here. I'd like to see these get taken out and then look to possibly have that reversal back to the upside once we sweep these levels. But until we get, again, big displacement back inside this range, I still think, we have a lot more room to the upside to go. So going into tomorrow, still going to be bullish. In the afternoons or in the after overnight session, I'd like to see possibly a retrace back into this little area here, maybe even back down to sweep these lows here. We actually have equal lows. So this is now going to act as our sell side. We have equal lows here. Would like to see us come back to this area and sweep these equal lows, possibly take these equal lows out and then look to maybe go back to new highs. That could be a possibility as well. But since we are, very bullish in the structure, I'm not expecting, a big move, down to here unless we get, some sort of, unless that does happen. And then when that does happen, we can evaluate, what our bias is, stuff like that. But currently right now, still bullish. We've swept, this high here, had that displacement down, swept, these lows here, then had that move back to the upside. Now that we've swept that internal, we could maybe see a retracement back down and sweep these. That's what I would like to see. So going into tomorrow, the only really thing that I would like to see is, depending on, what happens in the overnight session, is I would like to see the draw and liquidity become these equal lows down here. I'd like to see us come down, sweep these equal lows, and then possibly look to see what kind of action starts to form and maybe look to take that bounce back to the upside on NQ. So looking at ES, similar thing. We're actually forming SMT now. So again, I'd want to see sell side on ES be these equal lows still. So if we're looking at, actually, let me put that back. If we're looking at this, looking at a bigger time frame, we actually have, right, this big 4 hour fair value gap. So I'd like to see this continue to hold, but also, again, look at this 4 hour candle. Big move to the downside. Look at where we're closed right now, right? We're still really bullish. I would like to see, this level still stay as sell side, potentially even come back down to sweep this level. But again, I still think the draw is now going to be higher. We have this 15-minute fair value gap. Maybe could see us come back to revisit this and then go back towards that buy side level. But we actually are forming SMT now. So we can see ES never ended up sweeping that high like here, and NQ ended up sweeping this high here. So we actually are forming bearish SMT. This could now push us back inside this 15-minute fair value gap. And then we could end up either bouncing from there or, again, going through this. If we were to break through this fair value gap, then I would be bearish and think the draw on liquidity would be that low, right? Again, if you guys haven't watched that inverse fair value gap I just talked about, this is a lot of the ways that I like to use inverse fair value gaps. If we end up breaking, below this bullish fair value gap, right, I'd then, my bias would then become a lot more bearish, and I would expect these lows down here to be the draw on liquidity. So what I want to see is a retest of this inverse fair value gap now, and then look to see, you know, that push towards that sell side level being these relative equal lows down here. But again, looking at the overall charts, not a lot going on. Let's look at that trade opportunity that we saw today on NQ and ES. I like the setup a little bit better on NQ. A lot cleaner action to me, in my opinion. Had a big move down. We sweep this low. We also swept this low right here. Once we see these lows, right, what am I looking for? I'm looking to see big displacement up in the direction. Now, notice we have big move up, no break of structure though, right? There's no highs here to base any sort of, you know, direction off of. Once we come here, this would now be our break of structure right here, right? This was our first high that we had, you know, get broken, pull back to fair value gap. This would have been initial long, right? This would have been your long targeting buy side. You know, you can see a lot along the way. If you didn't get this entry, I looked to take my entry right here. We had a breaker block right here that I was looking for us to pull back into, and I was looking to take a long in this fair value gap. Unfortunately, we never ended up coming back to this, but this would have been a really nice long. You can see we ended up getting bought all the way up to that buy side level. So now some people ended up taking that first fair value gap right here. That's where a lot of people entered and ended up catching the move. Me personally, I did want to see that little bit more of a retrace back into the breaker block and that second fair value gap for me to take some sort of long, right? If I was to draw in there, you can see go from the recent leg. I would have wanted to see that discount retracement. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, you never ended up getting that entry. That's okay. Always going to be more opportunity. Again, knowing just our bias is correct in this sense, right? So going into this, right, we had a confidence that we were going to get, you know, this big move. Again, a lot of the times when I said going into FOMC, you can expect that first move from the initial FOMC, right, at 2 or whatever the time is to, you know, most of the time that's going to be what it's going to push to whatever that draw on liquidity is, right? So going into the day and going into that move, I said the obvious draw on liquidity is going to be this low, right? If we're looking at the 5-minute, we can see we have relative, or we have equal highs up here. We end up sweeping buy side. And then, right, we'd look for some sort of market structure shift. We can see we have internal swept being here. This would be a market structure shift, never came down. We ended up putting in a low right here. And then this was the first low that we actually broke, you know, with decent volume. You can see we retraced to the fair value gap and then ended up selling right off during FOMC to take out that sell side level, right? So normally the first 15 minutes or so is going to be first 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes is going to be that initial fake out move. And then once Powell actually starts speaking is when we actually get, you know, the real move. And that's what we expected today. You can see we got that exact same move here. Big move to the downside. Had that inversion model, right? Exactly what we want to see. Liquidity sweep, market structure shift, fair value gap, and then automatically got bought up all the way to take out buy side level, right? So pretty clean action today. Not anything too crazy. It was actually some decent amount of opportunity today in the market. If you guys did catch it, that's great. Going into tomorrow, again, no really strong bias. Again, I would like to see, again, we have equal lows here on NQ. Would want to see this come back down to sweep these lows if we could. If we end up breaking through this fair value gap with large volume, then I could expect the draw to now become these relative equal lows down here. But until we actually break through this fair value gap, I'm gonna continue to be pretty bullish. Does anyone have any questions? Could be on today's action, could be on just anything. What about the equal lows on the bottom? Equal lows on the bottom. Are you talking about these? Yeah, we have a little bit. We have equal lows on here. Is that what you're saying? Or... Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. These lows right here could now. This is what I want to see act as potential sell side if we do come back down to this area. What's up, Alex? News tomorrow? Yeah, let's do check news. I think we don't have much. A lot of it is pre-market. Yeah, we do have a lot of only pretty much news that we need to worry about is 8:30, and then we also have industrial production. Not going to affect much, but that's something that we should watch out for at 9:15. But that's pretty much it. Where would the draw for buy side? So right now we've swept this internal level, right? So what I'd want to see is potentially for us to come down, sweep these equal lows right here, continue to hold this fair value gap, and then look to potentially make new highs, right? If we do end up coming down and breaking through this fair value gap, though, then I could expect the draw to now be lower. Why can you be bullish on the fair value gap when those are there? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Because I know that these equal low, right? We have like two little equal lows right here, right? Now, if this, now it would have been more if we had like an equal low here and then an equal low here. Then I would be like, wow, okay, that's clear sell side, right? That's going to be a clear draw. But since we only have like two little lows right here and it's on a small, it's like on a 1 minute time frame, it's not something I'm too worried about. But again, this still is going to act as sell side, right? This is still going to be an area that we're going to look to hunt in the future if we get an actual, setup, right? Yeah, I still think the draw is higher just based off the weekly. Looking at the weekly, draw still looks higher. It doesn't look like we have any, it doesn't look like we have any signs of slowing down, right? We have just absolutely, monster move to the upside until we get, a selling day, until we get that, maybe a big move back down. I'm going to continue to be bullish. So should we always identify buy side, sell side on 50-minute market structure for 1 2 minute thing? That's what I normally do. Again, a lot of the times, I always look at different time frames as well, right? Like I still think this is going to be a big key sell side level, right? We have all these kind of stacked lows here on a bigger time frame, like the 1 hour. So possibly could see this get revisited in, the coming month or the coming, whatever. How would switch over to futures? You just get a futures broker. Learn option or learn the contracts, learn how the premiums work, learn ESNQ, and trade on Tradeovate or Edge Clear, whatever futures broker. I use Tradeovate. Would holding that fair value gap be another internal sweep plus break a structure on smaller time frame fair value gap as entry to the upside? Yeah, exactly. So that could be a potential trade, right? If we come down, right, zooming in on a smaller time frame, right, 5 minute or whatever it is. If we end up coming down, right, sweeping these equal lows here, and then look to look for a long model, right, internal swept, and then we have break a structure, and then look to take it back, right? That could possibly be a setup for us. Which contract should we be looking at on TradingView? Because on one day last week, there was this random gap formed in the middle of the day. Yeah, exactly. You got to. So on TradingView, I normally just do the regular one. So when I search up NQ, I just click the first one. It's NQ1 exclamation point. You can use NQ 2023, whatever it is or whatever. But make sure at the bottom where it says a B-ADJ, you want to click this. This is going to adjust to all the contract changes since we're rolling over right now. Yeah, there's a lot of prop firms that offer futures. Don't really get the contract rollover. So basically every couple of months, so there's month codes to futures, right? So if we look at, futures, you'll probably see here. Let me pull up Tradeovate here. I'll show you. You've probably seen, right, NQM or NQU. Those are what we like to call month codes. So most of the time now futures do expire, but they expire a lot of the times at the end of the month. So they don't expire. A lot of the times all the volume will just start transferring over to whatever the next contract is, rollover. And that's what we call, rolling over contracts, is when all the volume starts rolling over. So if we look at this, right, you can see NQU is what we're trading now. Normally NQM is what we have been trading for, the last month or two, right? You can see how the volume is there's really nothing here anymore. You can see 4-1, like it's very, very slow. But if we go over to NQU now, you can see a lot of the volume has shifted over. Now, again, it's aftermarket right now, so you can't really tell, but all the volume starting to switch to a different month code. Exactly. Can you explain again about BA? Yeah, in TradingView, you want to make sure this is clicked because this is going to adjust to contract changes. Bro, I got to thank you. I almost passed my 25K when you were away. Thanks to what you've been teaching us. Awesome, brother. Hella sick. Why don't you Xcode Tradeovate trades on TV? It's laggy. It doesn't work very well. How was the short-lived Miami lifestyle? Honestly, I loved Miami, but I like I would love Miami more if I had like a house there. Like if it was in my actual home, you know? Like I actually think I'm gonna end up getting possibly moving there in the next year or two. How you plan on staying there? I'll probably start staying there for at least a year and then see how, after a year I'll see if I want to stay or not. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm going back for literally Joe and the Juice. I'm going back for just Joe and the Juice. How do you know what contract to use? Right now we're on U. You can search up month codes, future month codes. See? Law, what? Dude, Joe and the Juice is this place in Florida. It's like a coffee juice shop and they have sandwiches and they have this juice called a pick me up. And oh my God, it was so good. And their sandwiches, so fucking good, bro. Was sick to see all you boys meet up. I've been Darius good for a while, bro. Yeah, Darius is a really sick. I love Darius. The boy more. Joe and the Juice fire as fuck. That's what I'm saying. Following you guys for ages. Super dope. Have you tried the shots? I haven't. But the pick me up is so good, bro. Like I was literally texting more, bro. We would literally go get Joe and the Juice like every morning. We would walk to Joe and the Juice every morning when we were in Miami. It's actually so good. I always saw it on TikTok and I was like, there's no way it's worth the hype. And then I went there every morning. So I do trailing stop with my trades and I found a much higher percentage gain compared to partials. Can you give me a reason why partials are good? Uh, Compared to trailing, I mean, the way that I like to think about partials is most of the time, you never know what the market's going to do. So when the time where you do set different price targets, sometimes you'll, get half off and then you'll get stopped at break even. Well, a lot of the times, when you do take off half and you do get break even, if there was a day, where you didn't take off that or you didn't have, set partials and you just had, one price target, whatever it is, and you just trailed, a lot of the times you're going to get lower, returns. You're going to get stopped at break even. If you, take off, 50% first BT, let the rest run, the days where it actually does run, you're going to get rewarded for that. ICT calls market structure shift as Chosh. Why do you and Tyler call it break structure? It's all the same thing. Change of character, market structure shift, break of structure. It's all the exact same shit. You don't need to worry about it. It's everybody just puts different names on it. I don't care what you call it. It's all the same shit. Yeah, don't let anybody confuse you on that. It's all the same shit. What do you get from Joe and the Juice? Also been learning a lot from you, man. Thanks, brother. Of course. I get the pick me up, which is like a banana, apple, strawberry like juice. And it's like cold. Oh my God. It was just so refreshing, bro. Like it cleansed my body. It was so good. And then I'd get the tunicado sandwich. Oh my God, bro. You ever gone hunting? I have. My grandfather owns some property in Houston and we'd go hunting. You had diarrhea? Nah. Yeah, definitely hit up Joe and the Juice if you guys are in Miami. There are a lot of traders living in Miami. Yeah, there's a lot of traders in Miami. You saw Fred again this weekend? Bro, I'm hella jealous. What the hell? Why didn't y'all invite Tyler Trader? I've never met him. What's the coolest thing to do in Idaho? I couldn't tell you, bro. Could not tell you. Do you trade on LLC? I do. Bit of Skrillex as well, bro. I'm so jealous, dude. Idaho's no traffic lights? That's crazy. Bro thinks I live in like a ghost town. Bro thinks I live in the middle of nowhere. Don't understand how I changed my contracts on Tradeovate and TradingView to the right one. Can you explain again? All you do is you're just trading U contracts now. So, you know, when you're on your DOM like this, right? Search up NQU. That's all you're doing. NQU instead of NQM, right? If you normally search up NQ, M would be the first one. Right now we're trading U. Yes, sir. All right, guys. That's pretty much all I have for you guys tonight. Market's looking good. I will see what happens in the overnight session. Wake up, give you guys that pre-market plan, and we'll hop on the live. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Anybody has any extra questions, always feel free. Message me in the Discord, right? Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Get some rest, and I will see you all tomorrow morning in the live session. Glad to be back home. Glad to be back in the lives. Let's start killing it. Peace.